Hey there, friends. I did a live in my group that I have, a free wellness group on Facebook where I was talking about hypertension. And so I decided to also play the audio here for you, just in case you're not in the Facebook group so that you still get these wonderful tips, right? And also feel free to come on over to the group on Facebook. I would love to see you there, because there's also lives that I'm going to be doing, and always you can talk to me there, drop your questions, get some insights. It just brings me so much joy to help out with you guys, okay? And so you can just go to bit.ly/wellbeing group. That is bit.ly/wellbeing group. And you can also just click on the link down in the show notes, okay? So you don't have to type it if you don't want to. All right, so I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to the Miracles and Wellness Podcast. My name is Clarissa Booker, and I'm your life and wellness coach, and also a beauty expert. I am so happy and grateful that you are here. We'll be discussing all things health and wellness, feeling empowered, and loving yourself more while connecting your mind, body, and spirit. Always know that you can manifest whatever you desire for your greater well-being in your life, because I believe that miracles are for everyone. All right, I think that's recording now. All right, we're going to get it together. So I do have a podcast episode on some ways to cope with hypertension. This is just some tips, to try to reverse it or just to keep you from getting it, especially if you are on the verge of it. So just a couple of things. So this won't be too long. All right. So one thing you can do is definitely try to reduce your weight. So if you have extra weight on you, just worry like your midline, all of that really does affect you. It affects your blood pressure, especially. So if you need to lose a couple of pounds, it's all correlated, right? So just losing a couple of pounds, not saying don't go crazy, but if you just have you're heavy set, or if you are struggling with obesity, just keeping in mind, just moving your body and just trying to reduce that weight with different lifestyle changes. Because a lot of times hypertension is a lifestyle condition, right? So just taking the time to lose that weight. And in general, this is general, so it's different for a lot of things. So for a man, if your waist circumference is bigger than 40 inches and it is 35 inches for women. So just keeping in mind your belly area. So a lot of times, all that goes to your visceral organs, it affects your body, all that weight all the extra on your tummy area there. So just take in mind, if you need to lose any weight or anything in a healthy way, right? We don't want to do anything dramatic or any of those fad diets or anything like that. Just keeping in mind just for a healthy way of weight loss, which it all goes into it. So all the things we can do to affect that also affects our health as well, okay? Let me see if I can expand this here. Oh, I went little. So that's all right. And so just moving your body, exercise, movement, all the same thing. So 30 minutes every day, or at least every other day. Try to get a couple days in there a week. And also strength training is excellent, which also the strong muscles also burns more calories, right? Action needed, too low FPS. I don't know what that means. Hopefully it's okay. And so moving your body 30 minutes, the more the better. I mean, there's so many different ways. Even if you want to go out with your husband or your spouse, something along that nature, go dancing. It's still movement. Go out, enjoy yourself. And joy is also amazing. It just helps you, and that also reduces your stress levels, right? So just sitting there and, moving your body, whether you want to go for a walk or jog, there's so many different things. So even if that's 3 days a week for you, and then do 2 days strength training just to build that muscle, right? Because we want to be strong. And then also, I love my nutrition topic. So dealing with your nutrition, right? So whole grains, fruits, vegetables, these lower your blood pressure, right? And it's just good for everything, right? Reducing your saturated fats. Why does this keep coming up here? I don't know what this means. Reducing your saturated fats, guys. And saturated fats are a lot of time prevalent in your animal products, your meat, especially like your fatty meats, like your cow and all those things, and whole dairy products like whole milk, all those things, all those cheeses. And cheese is good, right? All those dairy products. Oh, yes, and tropical oil. So the coconut oil, remember there was like the phase with like coconut oil. Coconut oil was like for everything. Coconut oil, yes. All these things, palm oil, the tropical oils, that it's loaded with saturated fat, right? So just kind of reducing that. So either having cooking techniques where you cook with water or extra virgin olive oil is great. And there are ways to cook with water, so to reduce the oil and the salt, right? And so reducing your sodium, because we know that also adds to it. So just being mindful of your food labels, being able to read your food labels, decreasing your processed foods, all those things. And like whenever you're eating something, try not to add additional salt onto it, right? So just, because try using different spices, fresh herbs, things along those lines. That helps out tremendously with your seasoning, so you don't have to gorge extra stuff in salt. So doing that, and also increasing your potassium. And potassium helps excrete salt out of your urine. And you don't have to just eat bananas. There's different things that have potassium. Avocados have potassium, like fat-free yogurts. Your greens, which are so good. Potatoes. Potatoes itself are good for you. It just depends on what you put on the potato, right? So if you putting like sour cream, butter, and bacon, all those things, yeah, it takes nutritional value down, right? So just, potatoes itself are good. Okay, so that also will help excrete the salt out of your body. Okay, so increasing your potassium. And, if you don't, sometimes you can just get like a food journal, like a wellness journal. I even have wellness journals that I sell. If you're interested in those, I can give you those links as well. And just making key about what the food you're eating, just writing that down. Okay. And then sometimes you don't even notice how much you're eating or what you're like snacking, right? Like sometimes I snack on chips, loaded with salt, straight processed, all the things, right? Not my best choices. So, and like sometimes you ever like eat while you're cooking, like everything adds up. Okay. So just being mindful of that. So yeah, just take a couple of days. You could just take like 3 days and just write down everything that you're eating so you can know exactly what you're putting in your mouth, and just sit there and look at it. And just do it with curiosity. Don't do it with judgment. Okay. Just sit there and pay attention to that. Okay. And so don't judge yourself. Don't do any of that stuff. Just have an open mind or curiosity is what it is. That's what it is. So just journal that down and looking at your food labels, looking at the sodium content, the saturated fat content, because PUFAs and MUFAs are good. Polyunsaturated, monounsaturated fats, those two are good. Okay. So it's low fat. Don't eliminate all fat because we need fat in our diet. It's just the fat, the kind of food that you're eating. It's the quality of food that you're consuming is what it is. All right. And so also limiting your alcohol. Not all alcohol consumption is bad, in moderation, right? That's really little. So, those 4 ounces of wines are like this big, but then it's like, whoop, we have 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever, and so just being mindful of that, because that also affects your heart. That also affects your blood pressure and everything, and how we have to pump, because our liver and everything, we have to go into overtime to clean the alcohol out. All right. And so moderation is okay. And also, if you're on statins, some kind of blood pressure medication, the alcohol also is going to affect the medication as well, right? So be mindful of that. But honestly, if you start incorporating all these habits and just lifestyle, you will be able to reduce your reduce your blood pressure, and you won't even need the medication, but it's a lifestyle. So it's not like I'm going to do this today and I'm going to wake up tomorrow and everything's going to be good. No, it will take us a little bit of time, but you'd be amazed at how quickly it can turn around. But it's about consistency. It is so much about consistency, okay? About doing it every day. And then if you backtrack, it's okay, right? It's okay. Just sit there and just give yourself some grace and just start over and do it again, right? It's good. You got this, right? So, yeah, but if you are on medication and you're not there yet, right? Like you will be. Know that you will be. Okay, look, mindset thing here. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe it's going to work in order for it to work, first of all. If you don't think it's going to work, then it's not, because it's like your mind's going to go to work making you right? So if you give it to God, he's going to tell you what to do, right? He's going to open up a door and it's going to be like, here, you do this. And then you never know, you'll see something, you'll come across something will happen and be like, boom, and he did that for you. But you also have to do the work, right? So just remember, you didn't get to wherever you are overnight, so it will take time. But you have to believe in yourself and you have to believe in the process. And because everything is going to be a journey, right? So just doing that and being mindful of that, all right? So if you are on medication right now, so a lot of these things, so what I started with, so if you are drinking, it will affect the effectiveness of the medication, right? But ultimately, we want to get to the point that our blood pressure is lower in a good range that you can come off of them, all right? Because it can happen. You just have to believe that it will happen, right? And then it's like a trickle effect. You might be on one. Next thing you know, you might go back to the doctor. They'd be like, oh, they give you another one. And what's it doing? It's just suppressing your symptoms, right, guys? It's just suppressing your symptoms. So we don't want to suppress them. We want to reverse and stop and prevent, okay? So just, being aware of that, just knowing that it will work. Also, smoking like alcohol. Well, it shouldn't be smoking at all, right? But there's no judgment there because sometimes we pick up habits along the way. But it's okay, just working on that. Replacing that smoking with working out, right? Let's say you smoke because you're stressed out. Listen to something motivational, right? Turn on a podcast, an audiobook, go for a walk, go work out. Replacing whatever that is, the holding of put something in your hand. I don't know, yarn, knit. You can figure out something. Find out what it is that brings you joy, right? And then replace that with it, okay? So just try not to smoke, quit smoking. I know that can be difficult sometimes for people, but, just finding something to replace that with, right? Figuring out what it is that's triggering you to want to smoke, right? Is it like a hunger thing? Are you not eating to smoke? Because you do need to eat. So let's eat, put nutrients into our body, and then replace that. Also, stress, definitely. We know stress is attached to all the things, right? All the things. So chronic stress can definitely lead to high blood pressure, right? And to other unhealthy habits, all the things. I mean, every little thing is connected, right? So if you want to fix your high blood pressure, you have hypertension. And once you start working on that, there might be something else underlying also going on. You probably don't just have one thing going on with your health, right? There's probably something else. And then the beauty of it, right, making this a lifestyle, is when you heal one thing, you heal everything else, right? You heal other things going on. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do many, right? This is the way you do other things as well. So that is so true. So many things, even with your health. So, and then the stress can lead to the other unhealthy habits. So when you're stressed out, you might drink, you might smoke, you might eat the unhealthy food, right? So it's just like a trickle effect, right? And so trying to find out what your stressors are to work on eliminating them if it's possible. Sometimes it's not possible, and just figuring out healthy ways to cope, right? Talk about that a lot. Ways to cope with your stress, okay? And then yes, I do have a podcast episode of that too. I should have the title in my head. I do not. I will have to get back to you on that. I need to work on that, right? And yeah, so these are just some things. I hope they helped you. So I think I covered just about everything I wanted to cover there. So let me know any questions you have. Please comment, write hashtag replay if you are catching this on the replay. I would love to know, and give me your thoughts. Do you agree with what I said? Do you not agree with them? And if you don't, tell me why. Okay, I'm Clarissa, your holistic health coach. Just here to help you live a healthier life. All right, bye you guys.
If you like my morning show, leave a review. Bye guys.
Thank you so much for coming by. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a written review. Until next time, love and light.